If you work as a manufacturing facilities engineer, installing a new piece of equipment can be as complex as the machinery itself. From prep work to alignment and testing, it's your team's job to put it all together. That's why it's good to have Grainger on your side. With industrial-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure you have everything you need close at hand through every step of the installation. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Yeah, so dandelions is something that I've always had a spiritual connection with because it's one of the first plants that we're introduced to when we're interested in the medicinal properties of weeds. And thinking about, well, what is a weed? A weed is just a plant that someone has decided it doesn't belong in the garden. And I feel like that's like a whole conspiracy and stuff, but I always felt like that as well. I
Yeah.
felt like I felt like a dandelion, I was just trying to exist. I'm just trying to survive. And people were just like pulling at me and wanting me not to be there. And so for years and years and years now, my Facebook profile, my personal Facebook profile, the header image is a diagram of dandelions because I've always felt like a weed myself. A
It's
very
funny.
resistant.
Yeah, my next tattoo that I get is actually gonna be a dandelion
Yeah.
because yeah, because okay, first of all, feeling like a weed, yes, but also how stinking resilient dandelions are that will take in the harshest conditions and they will just grow and thrive. And it's like, bitch, you thought you was gonna kill me. Here I am. So, yes. Oh, sorry, Ro.
Oh no, no, you're fine.
I
He looked.
didn't mean to say, I didn't mean to cuss.
No, it's fine.
I didn't even,
I got I got fired up there for a minute.
I didn't even realize.
He's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Um, okay. Yeah, like I said, I got fired up there for a minute. But yeah, so that's actually was what my next tattoo is gonna be as a dandelion because of all its um resilient qualities.
And property, like all of the things, like how rude is it for us to call dandelions weeds when they're edible and medicinal and have all of these wonderful things that we can do with them?
Yeah, like the entire plant. This one is
Mhm.
one of those plants where the root is also edible and medicinal. So the plant itself is all right. So if you are have active gallstones or are on diuretics, you want to be careful about using dandelion because it's pretty potent. So it is a strong diuretic, so it helps you shed water and increases urine flow and all of that stuff. So it's really good for urinary stuff. Um, it is also really good for chapped skin, like chapped and irritated skin. So I make a lot of salves with that. And I make chapstick with it too, which chapstick is really just a salve with extra beeswax to make it a little firmer. It's all just a combination of infused oil and beeswax. It's just salves are a little less beeswax because you want it to be more pliable, and chapstick or lip balm, you want to have a little more beeswax so that it's firm and kind of stays in a little tube form for you to put on your lips. So those are the two things like chapped, chapped, chapped skin and a diuretic, but you can also like put it in and use it for salad greens. And it's a bitter herb, so it's good for digestion. Um, which is that's one of the things that drew me to dandelions also is because with my gut health I've always been looking for anything to improve digestion, so dandelion is good for that too.
So one of these days, I'm going to talk you into starting a whole like herbal business with salves and tinctures and chapsticks and lotions and all of the things. And we're gonna dress up as like well, you can dress up however you
Oh
want.
no.
I feel like you'd be interested. I want to make it very medieval looking because oh, her phone died. That was what the oh no is. I don't remember exactly where we were, but
We were talking about you talking me into making my products, and we were gonna dress up as something.
oh,
What
oh,
were we gonna dress up
oh,
as?
Renaissance theme because my whole thing is well, not my whole thing, but I was a history major in college and I've just always been really interested in the way we used to do things. In a lot
Yeah,
of ways was a lot better than how we currently do things and how we need to integrate the future with the past and move forward. So you're making noises. Um, so yeah, Renaissance outfits,
that
Renaissance
would be
design, and doing like vendor events.
that would be so fun.
And
That would be a lot
right?
of fun.
It would be
Yeah.
so much fun. We could do Renaissance fairs. We could travel around and like we could take our camper and we could just, we have Blake just park us there for a whole weekend,
Yes, that
come
would be
back and get
awesome.
us.
That
Come
would be awesome.
Sunday.
And
Yeah.
we could just, dust thou want a salve to cure thine ailments.
We can make oh like TikToks and stuff in between. Like we would totally entertain ourselves. That would be so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It would be a lot of fun.
Okay, so I can just go through what I have for dandelions and then you can fill in the blanks or whatever, whatever.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So for sure, all of the uses, all of the parts are useful. So it says young, tender leaves are excellent in salads. They're slightly bitter and peppery. It turns out that most herbs are kind of peppery, but I don't know if it has anything to do with, I know pepper, like actual pepper, helps the body absorb things. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that has anything to do with it. It could absolutely not be connected at all, or it could. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not either. And the funny thing is like there it may not be something that we know just as humans or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We're just now grazing the surface of what I hope is a very long journey of learning in all of this. Uh
Yes.
okay. So this would younger leaves are best for like salads. So
Hmm.
eaten raw. And now my cat's being obnoxious. This is a entertaining episode, a very eventful episode so far.
It is. Yeah.
Older leaves can be cooked like spinach or kale, sauteed or added to soups and stews. They're highly nutritious, rich in vitamins and minerals, but it doesn't tell me which ones. Did you know that AI acts just like a person? Like
Really.
I'll give it the same prompt every single day and it'll answer it in a different way every single day.
Really.
It kind of drives me crazy because I want it to give me a so I use it to do my episode descriptions. So I don't
Hmm.
use it for anything like I'm not trying to like write articles or write books and with AI and call it mine. I'm just trying
Right.
to get it to do all of the scrub work that kind of
Yeah.
takes a little bit of time that I could hand off to a what do you call them? Somebody who
Like
studied singing.
somebody who studied what?
like studies up underneath you, like
Oh,
an intern. I'm just trying to
yes.
give it the intern work, the crap work that nobody else wants to do, myself
Yeah.
included. So, but I use it for my episode descriptions, and which are mostly SEO purposed anyway. Most people don't
Mhm.
care about the descriptions. How many podcast descriptions have you read before you've listened to the episode?
Almost none.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You look at the title, and if it catches your attention, you hit play, let's try this out, and you give them like 3 minutes, and do they catch my attention or do they not? And
Yeah.
so it's mostly for like SEO work anyway. Anyway, it'll give me a different prompt every single day. So point being, we've sat here and we've done all five of these episodes back to back, just kind of like bulking it to knock it out. And so I've given it the exact same prompt every time, but with a different plant, and it's answered in a different way every time, which is bothersome. But anyway, so it told me it was rich in vitamins and nutrients and minerals, but it doesn't tell me which kind. But previously it has been more specific.
Yeah. Um, I don't know what vitamins and minerals are it is rich in either. I just know that it is rich in them. Like some things I'm like, I don't know exactly, but I know it's good for me, so I'm gonna do it. So dandelion is one of those things.
Yeah, I just asked for a breakdown. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So it's got vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin E, folate. Sounds like a Queen Herbie song.
Yeah.
Calcium, potassium, iron, magnesium, fiber, and antioxidants. Awesome. Yeah, well, we just redid our front garden, and I was very carefully pulling all of the dandelions out and like putting them in a pot. And Blake was just kind of hacking at everything. And I was carefully pulling at this one dandelion, and I had to stop for a second because I don't remember why. He was next to me and he was talking to me, and like he was like, hand me this or something. I don't know.
Right.
So I turned around and I grabbed it, and I turned back around, and he just hacks at this dandelion that I was just pulling. I was like, "What are you doing? You saw me delicately pulling at this baby. You monster. You monster."
It's funny because you say that, and like last summer or spring, last year when it was warm and things were growing, um, anytime that I would see like the dandelion seeds, where it comes up in the big puff ball, anytime I would see those, I would run over there and I would carefully, like so carefully, pluck it, and I would cup it in my hand
So
so the
nobody.
wind didn't get it. And I would walk all the way to the garden, and then I would put it and like smear the seeds around everywhere in my garden beds. And Justin was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm
Blasphemy.
planting dandelions." And he was like, "Those are weeds. They're gonna take over your garden beds." And I was like, "Let them. I want
Uh-huh.
them. Do you not know how good they are?" So
In if you get into relationship psychology, they talk about how uh couples have pretty much just the same three fights. And you have to figure out as a couple what your three fights are. But once you know that most couples only have the same three fights, and you identify yours, you start to recognize it and you start to notice it, and then you can better work through it and find solutions to those three fights. But one of mine and Blake's three fights is about what is a weed and what is not. I will fight. Like I will. That's a hill I'm dying on. Is
none
weeds.
of them are weeds. If they're native, they're all useful. They have a purpose.
I mean, so I hate some of them too, though, for sure. But
Oh,
yes.
Those little things that have the burrs on them. What are those?
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Prickly something and you know what? I can find it. Give me 2 minutes. Not even
I want to say they
probably.
have like goat in the name. I don't know that for sure though.
My mom, and text about once every 3 to 6 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we've texted about. So I just have to figure out if it was in SMS or if it was,
Hmm.
it looks like it was not in SMS. Let me check Messenger because she asked me just well, like a month and a half ago what they were called because you can only get rid of them a certain time of year. So they
Yeah.
start seeding. Okay, burrweed.
Yeah, they like start seeding in February or something. You have to
Yeah.
spray like a pre-emergent or something.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
so you can only get rid of them if you spray them in like February or March when they start producing.
Yeah. All
Otherwise,
I know is they are like the spawn of the devil.
yes. Yes.
And they
They're
they
terrible.
absolutely ruin anytime that I want to try to do any grounding. And I'm like, oh, the grass feels so nice. The ground on my feet. And then I am limping to the driveway to try to dig all of those little spurs out of my feet.
Yeah, I got chill they started at my feet and went all the way up to my face when we started talking about them because my body knows. They're oh my gosh, terrible.
The, the body keeps the score.
Oh, there's a book. There's a book. Did you know
Yes.
the book?
Yes, that's why I'm saying that. Like
Ah, so my
past
friend,
trauma, past trauma, the body keeps the score.
yes, my friend Lauren that I play pickleball with has been so adamant that I read this book. So I bought it on Audible and I downloaded it a couple of weeks ago and uh I haven't been able to find time to listen to it because me and this guy over here we finished The Giver.
Did you?
Did you know it's a 4-part series?
I did. I currently have the next part on hold in my Libby app.
Gathering Blue.
Yes.
Yes, we are almost done with book 3.
Really?
Yes, we have been putting it away.
It
We're
is so good.
so good.
Sad that it's ending.
What, Ro?
I'm really sad that it's ending.
I know. Those are the when you know that you get the good books is when you're sad that they're ending. You're like, oh, can I just go back and read it all over again?
I was so angry about how the first book ended. And
Right?
we started the second book and we're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
It's
Right.
completely different. And we're like, please, please, please let it tie together. And towards the end of it, it kind of hinted that it might tie
Okay.
it together. And then book 3 is it just hits the ground running, tying everything together. So keep going,
Okay.
keep going.
Okay. So when I get into book two, don't be discouraged.
Right, right. But
Okay.
it's completely different. It's basically a completely different book. But it's also really good in a similar way. And then
Okay.
towards the end of the book, it starts hinting that it might tie things together. And then book 3 is like, yeah, we here. It's tied.
Okay. Good.
It's tied. Everything's together. Here's that guy, here's this guy. It's wonderful.
Okay.
So
Good. I can't wait. I'm so ready. Like I'm listening to a couple of other books. I am like all over the place with books, but I'm listening to a couple of other books in Audible right now. But that is on my wait list for my Libby app. Sorry. I'm since I'm in my upstairs now, my dog and everybody is like trying to distract me. Um, where were we going with this part of the conversation?
The Body Keeps Score is where is
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, that is a good book though. I do recommend that if you have some time to spare to read it because it is good. I've read it twice.
oh wow.
Um,
I'm like
yeah,
30 minutes into it, so I have
yeah.
I've started it. I just haven't gotten too far with it.
Mm. I think the first time that I read it was about the time that I found you because that's what got me into, like the trauma informed yoga and stuff like that. And then I read it again just like within the last 6 months.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Cool.
So, but yes, the spurs. How can we bring this back to dandelions?
Well, I can bring this back to dandelions because
Okay, good.
as with the Body Keeps Score and relating it back to me and what I do is all healing aspects. And a lot of people are trying to heal from trauma or whatever have you. Healing comes in a lot of different forms. And one of the reasons that I am so into herbs is because the earth provides all that we need for things, and we really need to get more back in touch and tune with all of the medicinal properties of all the plants that are available to us. And the more that we learn about the plants in our area, in our yard, and start to learn how to incorporate them and actually use them. And the more we use them, the more we'll cultivate them and take care of them. So they'll be more plentiful. And that's going to help heal not only us, but our community, our environment, and, spreading that knowledge for how to do any of that. Because none of us these days start out knowing anything about any of this stuff. You're like, well, of course, dried is more potent. And I'm like, well, I didn't know that, Brandy. That's not something that is just automatically knowledge that people start out with. And the more that we get into touch with the plants, and not only are we going to inadvertently heal things that we thought were chronic conditions that we were going to have to spend the rest of our lives with, but it also heals parts of our soul and it's grounding to get out there and touch grass. And uh, it heals not only the body, but the mental and the emotional and everything. So nature.
Yeah. Well, and two, like when you're dealing with herbs, to me, I feel like this is why I love teas and, salves and all of this. So, like I love all of it because you can really set a lot of intention because you go in, like, say I have my herbal apothecary and I have a wall full of jars of dried herbs. And like, it's like making a potion. And it's, you're setting an intention and you're creating this spell like, okay, how do I feel? What do I need? So I can choose each herb with the intention that I want, like dandelion, I have, chapped skin, so I can infuse my intention and infuse the benefits of that herb into an oil. And like it's just a whole process. Like it really helps go into a lot of the intention and the grounding, and then you add the medicinal properties of the herb itself on top of it, and it's just all beneficial.
I agree completely. You got to put the magic in it. I was I recorded a Virgo new moon episode earlier today. That's where that was. And this like the 29th is when the new moon is. So, but we're going to go camping this week. So, I didn't want to have to worry about it because I probably wasn't going to get to it before then. But anyway, I was talking about putting magic in things because it doesn't, and people want to get so hung up on, well, that's not factual. We don't have any evidence to prove this or that, or science, Savannah science. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Being practical is good. Being practical is very good. We should all be very practical, but also we can be too practical. And that makes life boring, and it makes
Yeah.
life dull and harder than it has to be. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. Is it fun? Is it helpful? That's what's useful. So,
Right.
yeah, when you're making these salves and you're heating up, you're melting the wax, you want to stir it clockwise to invoke things into it, and you want to stir it counterclockwise to make it repel things.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, and the placebo effect really, even
Oh
if
yeah.
that is all it is, like, so what? Does it make you feel better? Does it help? Like, if it's beneficial to you, that's really the main thing, because our brains and our bodies really have the ability to do way more than we give them credit for.
Uh-huh.
So, sometimes if you just have a little extra help in imagining what you can do yourself, what your body can do itself, then, that's that's all you need.
The placebo effect is powerful, super powerful. So if you go into something believing that it'll work, it has a higher percentage of actually working. And if you
Yeah.
go into something believing it's not going to work, then it has a higher percentage of failure. That's measurable. That's science for sure. So like, sure, believe in dragons because it makes you happier to do so.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, I have several books about herbal magic. So I'm going to pause this and go grab them because I guarantee you dandelions are in there.
Okay.
So look how many books I have on herbs and their medicinal and magical properties. And what's sad, super sad, is that I had several more that I, like a DA, lended out to people who were interested. They came to me and they're interested. So I was like, "Oh, here, borrow my books." And now they won't answer my text back. And I'm like, "Hey,
Ah,
can I have my books back?" And they're just ignoring me.
Hate
That's
people like that.
So never mind. I'm really bummed that how could all of these books leave out dandelion? That's like eh,
the number one.
right. And it just shows you back to the conspiracy. Back to the conspiracy. Um, there's for sure, and I'm LOL for sure. Uh a conspiracy, a government propaganda against dandelions because they don't want us to be self-sufficient and healthy.
For real.
So anyway, um, coming back to Gemini, diuretic, anti-inflammatory, digestive properties. You covered the liver and the gallbladder health.
Hmm.
Supports kidney function and regulates blood sugar levels. High in antioxidants. The long tap root helps to aerate the soul and bring up nutrients. Can be used to make yellow dye. Yeah, I'm trying to do have I told you about my garden co-op?
Yes.
Okay, you're inadvertently a member of that. I don't know if you actually knew that or not, but
I didn't, but I'm happy to be.
you're not somebody who like shows up to do the actual work, but I do ask you questions when I have questions. And then I'm supposed to be what about that asparagus?
Yes, I've got to get out there. It is finally just starting to pop up so I can
Yeah.
see where it's at, and then I will be digging some up to bring to you.
We have some that's popping up finally for,
Really?
because it takes like 2 years from like planting to establishment. And
Yeah.
so we're super excited. We're like, oh my gosh, look, it's actually asparagus. Like this is what it looks like from the grocery stores. It's so
Yeah.
exciting. But it's really like sparingly, 'cause you get like one or two here and there. And apparently you're not supposed to plant asparagus with onions. And that's exactly what I did, not knowing
Uh,
out of my ignorance. So like a month ago, dug up all the onions that were in it and replanted them in their own spot. But anyway, yeah, super exciting stuff. Plants, gardening.
yeah.
I
I
hope
love it.
I hope to do a lot more episodes like this right here with you.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Like I've thoroughly enjoyed every single one of these.
Good.
So, and there's lots of herbs, so we still have lots more episodes if that's what you want to do.
That exactly. And that's what I'm saying. We could just go on forever doing this. And
Yeah.
so not only herbs, but we could talk about asparagus or
Yeah.
squash or tomatoes. And
Yeah.
like we could do all of the things. We could probably make a whole podcast in and of itself just about plants and gardening and stuff. But it's too much work to start a whole new podcast. So we just do a spin-off series with this one. And because I mean like it's all us anyway. And it all ties together and yada yada stuff.
Yeah.
I could keep talking for hours.
I could do. So let's see. We covered how it's a diuretic, it's good for sore muscles, it's good for chapped skin. Um, you can make an infused vinegar and then mix that infused vinegar with raw honey. So that's another health tonic.
And again,
Uh,
that overlaps with what you said for another one in a different episode.
yeah,
So again, we're starting and it seems like a lot, but basically you can do the same things with all the herbs.
yeah. So like if you don't have um one herb growing in your yard, you might have another one and you can do the same thing and it has a lot of the overlapping properties. So, just because you don't have cleavers in your yard doesn't mean that you don't have dandelion and you can still benefit a lot from that.
Yeah, because I mean anything's better than the basic standard American diet.
Definitely.
Supplement.
Yes. Let's see. You can infuse vinegar with it and mix 1 cup of vinegar and a cup of Epsom salt into your bath water and use it as like a sore muscle soak.
God, I need that. Thank you for telling me that.
You're welcome.
I mean,
I think
I
we
have
all,
a hard time with all the things that I do.
yeah, between pickleball and yoga and gardening and everything. Yeah, I imagine you probably do have a lot of sore muscles.
Yeah. Jujitsu. Did I tell you that I started those?
The last time that we really talked about jujitsu, you were getting ready to start a new class.
Yeah.
So
Because I'm an idiot.
you're just active.
I am
You're
very
just active.
active. Yeah. So all the things. But I don't have anything else to say about Dandelion other than
Uh,
it might have been my favorite episode. Just I don't know. I love tangents. I love tangents. It keeps me entertained. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't think I have anything else. I'm looking through my notes and I think we covered everything that I had written down, and then you covered everything that you had and that Jim and I had. So I think we got it.
yeah, and we can always do another episode at a later time if we think of things that we left out.
Yeah. Okay.
Dandelion
Sounds
part
good.
two.
Yes.
All right. So,
All right.
well, hold on. All right. So we'll go.
Okay, bye.
Bye.